Welcome to PÖFF TV, our official channel for Tallinn Black Nights Film Festival. Today we have a quite special guest. She's a comedian, a classically trained violist, and now a director for her first film, On a String, Isabel Hagen. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So you premiered already at Tribeca.
Yes.
How was that experience?
It was my first film festival ever, so it was really fun just to experience what that was like. And the film was shot in New York, in Tribeca actually, so it felt nice to premiere it kind of right where it was made. And
it won directly also an award, the Best U.S. Screenplay.
Yes, it did. It won the Screenplay
award. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
For the people who don't know about the film that much, can you tell what this film is about?
Yeah.
Like kind of a short elevator pitch.
Yeah, the film is a little comedy or dramedy, some might say, about a classical violist who is living in New York City with her parents after graduating from college and playing just all kinds of gigs just to make ends meet. Like she's not playing in a big symphony. She's playing like wedding proposals and marriages and funerals and in people's homes, and she's getting brought into people's personal lives. And so it's really about, just navigating that sort of in-between time from after you graduate school until when you figure out what you're going to do, which I don't know if anyone ever fully figures out what they're going to do, but
if I ever figure out, I'll let you know.
So that was also a theme I was really interested in, just sort of, do we ever find that, and what does that mean?
But would you say it's a biography? Is it like your own story, or because you're acting also? So
yes.
Let's tell me, how personal is this story for you?
The story is both very personal and not. There's some aspects that are very much autobiographical, to the point where my actual brother plays my brother in the film. We shot the film in my parents' actual apartment. A lot of the gigs that are portrayed in the movie are very much inspired by gigs I've played. But then there's a lot of things I just took liberties with to make it a fun story.
But you're also a comedian, so when did you make that decision that now I've done this, I've been done, and you're a good comedian. You got you have a track record. So when did you decide to fully go into directing and writing?
Well, it started from stand-up comedy, which was something I had begun doing after I graduated from Juilliard. I always knew I wanted to try comedy, and I had been dealing with repetitive stress injury in my wrist and performance anxiety, and the injury is something I also show in the film. But in the film, I don't start stand-up comedy. But in real life, I started going to open mics, and when you're doing stand-up and writing your own jokes, it's so much as performing, but also writing. So I think that's what got me into writing maybe a screenplay. I made a little web series about that sort of inspired On a String called Is a Violist. That's also like about playing weird gigs in New York City. And I just, out of necessity, started thinking, I'll just make it, I'll direct it myself because it's such a personal story. I'll be in it because I want the character to actually be able to play the music. So it all kind of grew out of shifting into comedy and starting to write and then direct, and then all of a sudden, here I am.
What would you say was the hardest hat to wear when you're doing everything? Was it acting, or was it the directing, or how?
In the moment, no one thing felt hard because there were too many things. So it was sort of just, it almost helped with the acting and the performing because there was no time to get nervous about any of it. We had zero, there was just no space for that. So I'd say the hardest part was probably the producing, getting everyone together, getting the funding, getting it to actually happen. But once we're on set, it's just sort of problem solving, which is something that we do, that you're doing no matter what your job is.
But how do you change from going into the role and then cut and you have to now say what to do? How is that process?
I think I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. I've discovered through all of this because, I'll go. It helped that the character in the movie was a version of myself. So it's not like I'm changing so drastically. It was sort of keeping in my demeanor and my point of view. But it was sort of just, I think being a performer for most of my life as a classical musician, there's a mode you go into when you're performing and you turn it on and you turn it off and it's pretty automatic. So I think I used that sort of switch also on set. Like, okay, now I'm directing. Now I'm telling people what I need. Now I'm in myself. Now I'm acting, you know. So it's just sort of a thing, a tool, a little switch.
Do you have a special scene, a particular scene that is memorable for you? Either it was just because you feel like this is the essence of the film, or it was really hard, challenging to do. Do you have anything specific to bring out?
There's a scene with me and the actor who plays my dad, Dylan Baker. I don't want to give too much away, but it's sort of a pivotal confessional moment. And it was pretty inspired by, in a good way, by my own relationship with my dad, just how he parents and how he puts himself, how he can relate and sympathize, but also, you know, hold you accountable. And so it was important. It felt special just because of the inspiration with my own relationship with my dad, and also because Dylan Baker, who plays my dad in the film, is such an incredible actor, and getting to work alongside him was really, really special.
I know exactly what scene you're talking about, so the viewers just need to come to the cinemas. One of the things that I wanted to ask you the moment I finished watching the film was that when I saw this, it brought me back to when I was in my early 20s, and the series Girls came out, Frances Ha came out, and I thought that, wow, I had not seen for a very long time this great indie that portrays, as you said, the struggle of like trying to figure out with these situational comics and life, basically. And I told you before not to think about who's influenced you, but who has influenced you? How is that?
I mean, I definitely watched Girls and Frances Ha. Those are, I mean, and I rewatched Girls more recently, and being older and more like the age that they were conveying, or a little older, I realized how much they nailed so many things about like relationships in New York City. And then Frances Ha is one of my favorite movies for sure. So I think even if it wasn't consciously, like that sort of pacing and tone definitely got in there, you know.
Well, I would just say that, like, keep an eye on this woman, that because like this felt really this kind of like the discovery moment of like, wow, we haven't had this for a very long time. This is like the capturing of like.
Thank you.
So in that case, what are your plans for next? Or what are you working on right now?
Well, I'm about to really hit the road again doing stand-up comedy. I've been sort of not traveling as much with it because working on the movie and then the festivals, and also I had been taking a little break from comedy to tour with this band, Vampire Weekend, but that tour just wrapped up, so now I'm writing a new script, and it's very early stages. I couldn't even talk about it. It's too... But
it's a film right now.
Yes, I'm writing a film. Could have just said that. I'm writing a new film. You're like, what are you up to? And I'm like, oh.
Well, that's what a lot of things, but writing a film.
There's a lot of things going on, but I'm in the middle of writing a film and about to start developing a new hour for stand-up because I filmed a special in May. So now I'm starting over again with that.
One of my last questions would be that this film is about your early 20s, or like the beginning of your entering grown-upville, or like, I think, what would you say to your younger self looking back? Like, how would you, when you met her on the street, what would you say to her?
I would honestly say keep going. You're doing everything right. Not that I don't believe in doing anything right or wrong, but don't worry, but keep going and really keep pushing. But also, like, you're doing great.
I think that's a beautiful way to end. Thank you, Isabel, for coming to present the film, and everyone come to the cinemas. We have it on the 19th in Tallinn, 22nd in Tartu, and 23rd back at Tallinn. So join us at the cinema.